Hello and welcome to the news at 5 on Channels Television. I'm Olumide Macaulay. President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for a two-nation trip to Japan and Brazil. The president, who was scheduled to leave on Thursday, now left this morning at around 11:15 a.m. He was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Chief National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and other government officials. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Noniga, he will stop over in Dubai, the UAE, before proceeding to Japan. In Japan, President Tinubu will attend the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development in the city of Yokohama from August 20th to the 22nd. At the end of the conference, he's expected to be in Brazil on a two-day visit from Sunday 24th August to Monday 25th August. Now, to the safe return of the 11 Nigerian miners who were stranded in the Central African Republic following the assistance of the federal government to which they came out. They arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on Thursday, aboard an airline flight facilitated by Nigeria's ambassador to the Central African Republic, Babagana Ahmed, and received by a federal government delegation led by NEMA's Director of Search and Rescue, Air Commodore Kenneth Oyong. The returning miners were processed through immigration and security screening before being formally received at the Hajj terminal. Speaking on behalf of the federal government, the Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, affirmed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's resolve to protect Nigerians in distress anywhere in the world. The miners were abandoned by their employers in a remote location before seeking help from the embassy in Bangui. Now, 2 months after the deadly attack in Yelawata border community with Nasarawa State, where several persons lost their lives, community leaders are again calling for some help from rescue operations. They're calling for permanent security bases and 100 resettlement bay homes. Addressing journalists in Makurdi, the capital of Benue State, a community leader, Matthew Minyam, applauds President Tinubu, the First Lady, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and others for their support, and laments Monday's fresh attack that claimed 3 lives.
The atmosphere along the Makurdi-Lafia highway is calm, a sharp contrast to Monday's protest, where residents occupied the highway to condemn the killing of 3 persons by suspected herdsmen, just 60 days after the massacre of several people in Yelawata. New troops have been deployed, restoring some calm to the community.
There was shooting around the town. The soldiers went swiftly, and today you can see them going out. This one that came, they say they are not here to sleep in the house. They are going out patrolling because they won't allow people to be killed before they start running after them. And that's why you can see them going out. We appreciate them. If the soldiers are doing like that, we will sleep with our 2 eyes closed.
Residents, however, believe more can be done to address insecurity in the area, in addition to the resettlement of displaced persons.
In light of the generous donation made by government officials, individuals and organizations, we hereby humbly appeal to the Benue State government to utilize these funds to support our community in the following ways. Build at least 100 units of 2-bedroom flats to resettle the community and provide shelter for the displaced families. We call for government to establish a mobile police station to enhance security in the community and prevent future attacks.
The governor, while receiving the women from Ipusu community who paid him a courtesy visit, speaks on the donation by the First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu.
They also had mentioned about their desire to visit the First Lady, the Mother of the Nation, Senator Remi Tinubu, for the visit she made to the Benue State here, and the donation she gave for the IDPs. It is quite a humongous donation. They are asking that I ensure to have them booked so that they need to go over there and thank her. She is a good mother, wonderful mother.
With the recent killings, security agencies are intensifying efforts to improve surveillance as the Benue-Nasarawa border remains porous.
The Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency has handed over 11 persons suspected to be victims of human trafficking to the chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, in the state. The victims from Maru, Talata Mafara, and Zurmi local government areas were earlier intercepted by the DSS while en route to Abuja for mining work and later handed over to NAPTIP in Abuja.
21 suspected victims of human trafficking intercepted by operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, are handed over to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, in Abuja. After thorough investigation, 11 of the victims who were reportedly being transported to Abuja for mining jobs are confirmed to be indigents of Zamfara State from Maru, Talata Mafara, and Zurmi local government areas.
Let me hand over
the victims were subsequently handed over by NAPTIP to the Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency, which in turn released them to the chairman of the affected local government areas for onward unification with their families.
So they were apprehended and moved to NAPTIP, and NAPTIP called my agency because of our collaboration that we have 21 people from Zamfara State. We will continue sensitizing people, educating them, the risks behind all this issue of mining, leaving your state, going to other states.
Receiving the victims, the chairman of Zamfara State, Algon, laments the deception that led to their trafficking, noting that Zamfara already has abundant mining resources and questions why they were being taken elsewhere for the same job.
To our surprise, our people used to leave their domain without even nothing of identification, which is the most serious and dangerous thing. You just carry yourself, or somebody carry you a far place down to east to south without any identification, and you go there for labor. It's never the best. This thing is very, very serious. Our government cannot tolerate that. We are doing much to ensure that our people are safe at anywhere. But when you go on your own, we don't think we can help you again.
As the victims are reunited with their families, the Zamfara State government is asking residents, especially in rural communities, to be wary of individuals offering promises of greener pastures outside the state, stressing that such offers often lead to exploitation and trafficking.
The government of Yobe State, under the Agro-Climatic Resilience and Semi-Arid Landscapes project, has announced the commencement of a 13-kilometer drainage and gully erosion site in the state. The project, which is ongoing in Gujba and Damaturu, is also conducting training for 50 site management committees on waste disposal in the affected communities.
Gully erosion accompanied by flood has been a major natural disaster affecting the livelihood of individuals, bringing setbacks to the economy of Yobe State. To address the challenge, the government of Yobe State, under the Agro-Climate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRESAL program, is constructing drainages and gully erosion control projects across the 2 local government areas to minimize the perennial flooding. Beyond the construction, the state government is partnering Global Peace Initiative to train 50 community leaders on waste management, especially dumping of refuse in drainages. The training is aimed at reducing severity of waste-induced flooding, decreasing the prevalence of waterborne diseases, as well as the benefits from cleaner surroundings.
It's part of our mandatory activity to mobilize or to sensitize community on the impacts of waste management. You know, ACRESAL is a agro-climatic resilient in semi-arid landscape. So we are dealing with all problems related to land degradation and issues climate change and what have you.
The site committees are structures to support monitoring, ensuring compliance of what is designed for the project. Now, particularly with the Bunyadi and the Maturu watershed, the intention or the purpose of the site committee is to ensure that when construction is going on, they are looking at it. Then for this particular, also looking at compliance to things that have been stated in the technical design.
The importance of the waste management capacity building is explained.
This training, it teaches us that how our people, that they are not maintaining the drainage. They are taking the waste from their farms and putting it in the drainage. So this training is telling us that if we go back to our community, we'll tell our community that from today upward, everybody, if she has a waste, she should not take it and throw it in the drainage.
With Yobe State listed as one of the flood-prone states, residents are hopeful that the measures taken by governments will reduce the annual challenges of flood in the states.
And also on flooding, a flood disaster in Kpogberiko, an ancient kingdom in the communities of Afikpo local government area, have killed at least 8 people in Ebonyi State. Heavy rainfall submerged more than 100 farmland, that is 800 farmland, and damaged about 3,000 households, leaving hundreds displaced.
In an ancient city in Itim community of Afikpo local government area in Ebonyi State, it's surrounded by the Enyoha Itim beach and is known as a farming hub, producing gari, groundnuts, palm oil and other crops in large quantities. Fishing is also a part of their livelihood, as most residents depend on both subsistence and commercial agriculture for survival. Tragedy strikes on July 20, 2025, when heavy rainfall causes flooding that kills at least 8 people, including a mother and her 4 children. The disaster damages over 800 farmlands and affects about 3,000 households, displacing many families. Some farmers in the riverine areas recall the incident, explaining that they were trying to evacuate their produce when the flood hit them. They also say that they had no prior knowledge of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency flood warning.
They filled the canoe, they are packing canoe with the goose. Before they could, the thing stuck in, and we lost a child there. But the other one now, which was covering everywhere, the sand is already covered, the bank already covered. And even overflowing where the people, our people, fishermen, stayed.
Terribly, we were seriously affected. Everybody is crying. The fishermen, the farmers, we don't know what to do. So we really need the hands of government.
A community search and rescue team manages to save 4 children. 4 bodies are recovered and buried, while the search continues for more missing persons. Community leaders are calling for urgent help from the federal and state government and relief materials to support displaced families and address the damage caused by the flood.
This community is a community that has been feeding the Ebonyi State with gari, cassava, gari that's from cassava and the groundnut. But because of the flood this year, we lost all what we have.
We are telling government if there is any way of catapulting this information to every local angles, we will be in need of it, so that even the oldest man, woman in the town will be aware of what is about to happen.
The government is advising people living in low-lying, flood-prone areas to move to safer locations as the rains continue.
The Imo State Governor, Mr. Hope Uzodimma, has urged local government officials to be the true face of democracy in the grassroots, making it transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of the people. The governor gave the charge in Owerri, the Imo State capital, at a 3-day retreat on public sector governance for local government officials organized by the Progressive Institute in collaboration with the Imo State government. The program, according to the organizers, is designed to strengthen local government capacity for sustainable development. Our correspondent, Itakwe Kute, reports.
It's a three-day intensive retreat on public sector governance for officials of local governments in Imo State, organized by the Progressive Institute in collaboration with the Imo State government. With the theme, Enhancing Local Government Governance for Sustainable Development, the event brings together local government officials from all 27 local government areas of the state. In his opening remarks, the Director General of the Progressive Institute, Olanrewaju Adebayo, outlines the focus areas and the goals of the program.
From great intellectuals drawn from this state, they've discussed issues such as procurement, public financial management, public service rules, policy process and communication, all aimed at ensuring that our elected leaders perform optimist towards developing the state. And this is a manifestation of your character, of your capacity, of your vision, that the local government areas must perform to the expectation of the people.
The Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ruby Emele, describes the retreat as part of the Human Capital Development Agenda of the Uzodinma-led administration, aimed at reshaping the mindset of local government officials for improved service delivery.
Public sector ethics and anti-corruption legislations, lawmaking process at the local government level, and revenue generation at the local government levels. All these, Your Excellency, have gone a long way in increasing the knowledge, understanding, and capacity of the participants to go ahead and carry out their duties and responsibilities more effectively and more efficiently. And with that, we expect increased productivity.
For Governor Uzodinma, functional local government system remains the bridge between the state and its communities, delivering services, fostering development, and encouraging grassroots participation in governance.
It is a real privilege to be among the select few entrusted with the responsibility of serving the people. With such trust comes the duty to give your very best. Your very best that must align properly with high-level integrity and to ensure that your actions reflect the honor of the office you hold.
In the last 2 days, this retreat has not only deepened conversations about procurement, governance, ethics, and revenue generation, but it has also reinforced clear vision that effective local government system remains the foundation for sustainable development. And with strong leadership, clear policies, and shared commitment to service, the local governments can drive real progress for their people. Channels Television News.
The federal government is meeting its 2025 oil revenue target, and central to this is the very crucial work being carried out by the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited in securing the Trans-Niger Pipeline. This was the central message during the company's stakeholders' engagement in Port Harcourt, during which they tendered an account of their stewardship so far.
It's yet another stakeholders' engagement between Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited and stakeholders from the host communities of the Trans-Niger Pipeline, TNP. As the Federal Inland Revenue Service confirms, Nigeria has achieved its oil revenue targets for 2025. PINL's role in this milestone is highlighted by the company's community relations consultant.
The federal government has met its 2025 oil and gas sector revenue due to peace and stability in the communities hosting oil and gas facilities in the Niger Delta.
Some of the stakeholders in attendance also praised PINL for zero infraction on the TNP, while also appealing for further interventions during community disagreements.
For anyone who works effectively and people see it, you must be commended. Not just because we're gathering here, but that every information that we give, they're always processing it and they come back every 30 days to tell us this is how far we've gone with the message.
In order to reduce some of these challenges, you have to dig deep to know these communities that have these little internal chieftaincy, kingship issues, so that no matter how little, all parties should be carried along, so that they will have that sense of ownership.
Speaking on the sidelines of the event, a Niger Delta leader further emphasizes the company's collaboration with security agencies in securing the pipelines.
That the collaboration between the security forces of Nigeria and the private company has not just yielded result, but it has shown efficiency and workability, and to some extent that people are not in any way overstretched in their day-to-day running. The only thing that will continue to add now is that since pipeline infrastructure has demonstrated capacity in protecting the pipelines, we're calling on the federal government that a lot of our communities need to be cleaned up.
With zero infractions recorded on the Trans-Niger pipeline and further achievements in promptly arresting crimes of a hydrocarbon nature, PINL's role in providing critical services in Nigeria's drive to surpass its 2025 oil revenue target is further highlighted. Charles Opurum, Channels Television News.
Welcome to Business News, where the rise in the complaints by telecommunication users over numerous issues such as connectivity interruption, poor call service and data protection. The Nigeria Communication Commission, the NCC, says it's working to address these issues. According to the Vice Chairman of the NCC, Mr. Aminu Maida, the telecom sector regulator is set to launch a cyber security framework in the coming months to enhance service delivery.
Okay, so thank you very much.
The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Dr. Aminu Maida, is meeting with journalists and other stakeholders to discuss some concerns in the industry. This, according to him, is at the instance of investigations on complaints by consumers of communication products and services in the country.
Now, what we did last year, we asked all the major players, MNOs and ISPs, to engage Tier 1 audit firms to audit their billing systems. What we increasingly found was that whenever people were engaged, it was an aha moment for them. When you tell people, do you realize that when you are scrolling down on TikTok, that actually is consuming a lot of data? More consumption means more revenue, which means investors have a higher likelihood of getting their dividends, and government has a higher revenue base to tax. So the key to this whole thing is to make consumers happy. And how do we make consumers happy? Simple. Improve their quality of experience.
To further build the confidence of consumers, the NCC promises cyber protection.
We're coming up with a cyber security framework because in the digital era we live today, beyond the physical side of security, the digital cyber security is very, very important. So the cyber framework, which hopefully should be out sometime in September, is going to mandate a minimum level of standards that need to be complied with from a cyber security perspective. And what they should do is to give us a baseline and a foundation to build a more secure network, which should translate to less number of hack attempts, reduction in spam messages, reduction in cases of ransomware, etc.
Dr. Maida is also asking for cooperation from consumers in protecting communication infrastructure across the states of the Federation.
And that's it on the news at 5. Thanks for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.